Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball. You're listening to Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Hey Braves Country, this is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free, and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with one inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first, and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With the smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner. Hey Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country baseball.
What's up, Braves Country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love you.
Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024. A is for Aaron, the Hammer and Hank, the real home run king. Take that to the bank. B is for Bobby. Cox never cowered. He'd give Blue quite an earful on his way to the showers. C is for Chipper. Don't call him Larry. He would show up in Shea, the Mets he would bury. D is for David. Justice he'd bring. A Game 6 solo brought Atlanta their ring. E is for Eddie Matthews. 512 bombs away. Lit skies from Boston to Milwaukee to the A. F is for Fred. McGriff dog-biting crime. A fire was lit the day he arrived. G is for Glavine. Southpaw winds and kicks. Changing speeds east and west. A gem in Game 6. H is for Harry and his brother George Wright. The father of baseball, Boston pennants in flight. I is for inning, ending double play. Riley to Ozzie to Olsen all day. J is for Jones. Andrew let her fly. And his gloves in center is where singles would die. K is for strikeouts. A plenty from Strider. The quads in the stash, getting swings from that slider. L is for Lopez. Javi to B-Mac. Travis and Smurf, we've been lucky to see that. M is for Mad Dog. He won 355. Could swat flies with the changeup and still bust you inside. N is for Necro. He got to the hall by bending and knuckling and floating that ball. O is for Otis. Old Nixon could fly. The catch at the wall baffled our eyes. P still for Peterson. We were all rockin' pearls. With Eddie and Jorge, we were out of this world. Q is a quandary for why Dale is not in. Murphy MVPs again and again. R is for ranking. The top pitchers lore. Remember Kid Nichols, 107 WAR. S is for Smoltzy, the big three in the hall. When the game's on the line, you give John the ball. T is for Tyler, Matzik and the gift of 2021, the entire night shift. U is for Chavez, but we say Uncle Jesse. The frames, the release, kept the batters guessing. V is Van Weeren, Skip Carey 2, Don Ernie Joe, the tales from the booth. W is Warren, Spawn Johnny Sane. They'd ride him in Boston and then pray for rain. X is Mazzoni. Yeah, X marked the spot. Leo rocked next to Bobby, and his pitchers stayed hot. Why it makes us feel young, the game's main appeal. Chopping through the battery, there's no better feel. Z is for Zip Boom Bam, Rama-Lama Ding Dong. Throughout the summer, we sing that song. From AJ to eyeglasses and a hell of a pen. Mad Max, Uncle Charlie, win after win. A cannon from short, and RC you later. Acuna Matata, there is no one greater. Though you can't fit them all when you just A to Z. Think of your favorites in the rafters we see. I started with 3, then 10, 25, 47, 31, and of course 29. Let's not forget 21, 41, 35, the great 44, or 755, and old number 6, who led his great teams. The pennants were flying, it felt like a dream. From Boston to Milwaukee, to Atlanta's TBS, a family, a tradition, Braves Country's the best. Lineup for Braves Country by DM McGee, 2024.
like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it. The fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing, Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Polk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam-a ding-dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark. And it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Breen. Here's the front of the plate. He is safe.
You're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes
7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're set to bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. On the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies tonight, it's Aaron Nola. He's 11-6 with a 3.45 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, 154 innings pitched, 139 hits allowed, 142 strikeouts, 39 walks, 22 home runs given up. He'll be going head-to-head with Max Fried. Max is 7-7 with a 3.62 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 121 innings, 107 hits allowed, 115 strikeouts, 45 walks, 10 home runs given up. Backing up Max Fried in the bottom of the first inning, leading off and patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, Michael Harris II. 6 home runs, 27 RBI, 8 stolen bases, batting .252. Batting second, playing second. Man, we haven't said that in a long time. It's Whit Merrifield. 4 home runs, 13 RBI, 16 stolen bases, batting .215. Marcell Ozuna batting third, the designated hitter. He has 37 home runs, including the game winner last night. 94 RBI, a 309 average, and a 979 OPS. Batting cleanup and playing first, it's Matt Olson. 21 home runs, 63 RBI, a 228 clip. Sean Murphy once again behind home plate. 7 home runs, 16 RBI, batting .222. Jared Kelenic in left and batting 6th. 13 home runs, 39 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .236. Orlando Arcia batting 7th and playing short. 11 home runs, 34 RBI, a .225 average. Ramon Laureano is in right field and batting 8th. 7 home runs, 16 RBI, 4 stolen bases, batting .224. And Gio Urshela is batting 9th and playing 3rd. 5 home runs, 38 RBI, batting .241. Leading off for the Philadelphia Phillies, the designated hitter, it's Kyle Schwarber. A .248 average with 28 home runs, 78 RBI, 5 stolen bases, followed by Trey Turner, playing short, 14 home runs, 43 RBI, a .308 average, 14 stolen bases. Batting third, playing first, Bryce Harper. 26 homers with 73 RBI, 5 stolen bases, .276 average. Batting cleanup and playing third, it's Alec Bohm. 13 home runs with a .298 clip, 85 RBI, 5 stolen bases. Nick Castellanos is batting 5th and in right. 16 home runs, 63 RBI, 5 stolen bases, batting .250. Back behind home plate and batting 6th, it's JT Realmuto. 8 homers, a .254 average, 28 RBI, 1 stolen base. Wilson is in left field and batting 7th. A .341 average through 44 at-bats. 3 home runs, 7 RBI, 2 stolen bases. Sosa is playing second and batting 8th. 6 home runs, 27 RBI, 7 stolen bases, batting .274. Rojas is in center field with a .243 average. He's got 3 home runs and 28 RBI, 21 stolen bases. Calling balls and strikes tonight behind home plate, it's Corey Blazer. First base will be manned by Nestor Saja. Second base umpire is Manny Gonzalez, and down the third base line, it's Todd Titchener. Game time temperatures tonight are expected to be at about 85 degrees here in Atlanta, Georgia, with the wind blowing left to right at 6 miles an hour. Philadelphia Phillies are 21 games over 500, 31-29 on the road. Your Atlanta Braves are 9 over 500, 33-26 at home. Philadelphia tonight with Aaron Nola on the mound is minus 115 on the money line. The over-under is 7.5. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Philly Game 2 of a 3-game set. Your Atlanta Braves look to try to take a 2-0 lead on the arm of Max Fried. Try to scrape out some runs against their old nemesis, Aaron Nola. We got the Mad Max emoji kicking in the chat for you Country Club members. Warm up those chop arms, Country Club and Braves Country. Get your game face on. Going to be another tough one around the battery tonight.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah! Roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves Country. If you're here, sound off. Getting too crazy to keep scrolling all the way up, so the hell with that. Let me see who we got here in the recent. I see pushing buttons. I see pushing buttons. Country Club member. I see CPNV, whatever you want to call BV. Country Club member. D is here. Who else do we have? AY Country Club member, good to see you. Nathaniel Brooks, good Country Club member, good to see you. I'm assuming Edward Spry, Country Club member, good to see you. D. Let's see. Let's scroll a couple of links up and see if I see anybody different. VT Country Club member. And anyone else, just jump in. We've got a couple of things I want to play for you before the game starts. So that's why we're kind of jumping to this. So I wanted y'all to hear a couple of things from last night. We got a few minutes before the game begins. And here, first of all, I want you to hear Whit Merrifield postgame. Man, I'm really starting to like this guy. He is a very solid baseball player. He's not great, but you notice he's batting second tonight. Was I not just talking about that? All right, here is Whit Merrifield.
With the next man up mentality continues with this group following some tough injury news, and they execute in a big divisional series opener like this. What does it say about the group and how they won this game tonight?
Yeah, we're big leaguers. We're all big leaguers in that locker room, and we got some really, really good players that are hurt right now, but it's a chance for guys to play, and we know how to play the game, and so we're out here trying to win, expecting to win, and did a good job today of doing just enough to win.
For you personally, you face your former team for the first time since becoming an Atlanta Brave, a triple, double, a walk, a run. You do it in an excellent manner. How much do you relish the opportunity to contribute that way?
Well, I mean, it is just it's another game, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel good, to play well against a team that, told you that you weren't good enough to play for them. So, it's whether that's, I wasn't playing very good over there, so it might be true at the time, but, it's nice to play well against your former team, but I do love those guys and wish them nothing but the best, just a little bit less than the best when they play the Braves.
Lopez returns to the mound here tonight. 13 combined strikeouts with this pitching staff. How much confidence does it provide this group?
Man, he looked great tonight. Didn't look rusty at all. Velocity was amazing. And our bullpen's just been solid. They've been solid all year, so it was good to see. And Lope was great, so that's a good sign.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good to see Country Club member Denise. And I guess Bama Retro's in here as well. And if we're missing anybody, I'm assuming Travis is normally in here. There's Alan Paul. One more clip I wanted you to hear. Now, what we did is we cut out the actual audio of Raylo last night, but he was interviewed. So what you're hearing is his interpreter, because if not, it's a long clip that you're gonna just like, God dog it, get to the point. So we cut it together so that you're listening to the reporters asking Raylo, but who is speaking is his interpreter.
Yeah, I didn't expect things to go as well as they did again. But, you know, I would say the most important thing is that the team won and that at the end of the day I feel good.
How was your command so much better, it seemed like, in this game than you only made one rehab start, but tonight you looked as sharp as you did before? You know, the forearm tightness and everything. How was your command so sharp tonight?
Yeah, I think just maintaining my focus on my mechanics, and I think being able to go on that rehab and just sort of just continue to focus on the mechanics. And then I think something that helped out a lot too was just the bullpens in between the rehab start and all the times and all the sessions I got to throw. I feel like that just gave me the opportunity to, again, kind of fine-tune the mechanics.
Did you feel just a little refreshed? I know the velo was up.
Yeah, I definitely felt refreshed, and, you know, I think that helped me out a little bit tonight, and more so even I would say that, you know, just the time between, you know, actual outings, I felt like it just allotted me the opportunity to kind of fill up the tank a little bit more.
Still feel a lot of confidence in that clubhouse. You know, losing Austin Riley is a big deal, especially when you've lost so many players, but you still feel a lot of confidence in there.
Yeah, I honestly think we're just going through a really weird time right now. It just feels like someone comes off the IL, then someone goes on it, then someone else comes off, and then someone else goes on. So it's just really strange, but there's nothing we can do. So I think as a team, we just continue to move forward. You know, and just we go out with the conviction to win every game out there and to just continue to advance and hopefully, you know, just go as deep, play for as long as we can and go as deep as we can. And, you know, just hope for the best for those guys and hope that they can make a speedy and a healthy recovery and they can come back to contribute, hopefully.
All right, so that's enough of that. But just wanted to get y'all an idea of what was going through Raylo's mind, and then, of course, Whit Merrifield. We are just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Let's get it. Atlanta Braves are wearing their home whites, top to bottom. Phillies in their road grays. Philadelphia on the chest, Braves on the chest of the Atlanta Braves, and they've got their blue ball caps, red bill, white A. Philly across the chest in red caps, blue, white P, excuse me. We're just about set. Pick to click tonight is Matt Olson. The score 4-3. And yes, sir, it is baseball time in Braves country. First pitch on the way from Max Fried is a fastball on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 as we get the screen set up. Kicks and fires. Down and away. 1-1. So 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. Game 2 of a three game set. Braves won the first one 3-1. I didn't realize till after the game last night I hit that number right on the head. The 1-1 from Max brings it. Just got the top of the zone, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. I think what I figured out as the more I do this, that first at bat's going to be a little clunky on the broadcast, but that's all right because once I get it switched over, we'll be ready to roll. So a 1-2 count from Fried. Lefty Schwarber brings it. Swing, fouls it down the line. Just foul of the left field foul pole. Man, that barely curved. 1-2. Schwarber, of course, standing in with 28 strikeouts. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the bender. Good pitch. So a strikeout to start the game here. The 1-0. Lefty righty pitch. Swing, fouls it back. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Kicks and fires. Drags it down the third base side, played by Riley. He'll flip it over to first, and it's a 5-3 putout. I said Riley, Urshela, 5-3 putout, 2 away. Doing about 9 things at once here, so I'm trying to get this set up. But y'all be all right. I ain't worried about it. 2 down, top of the first inning. Of course, Aaron Nola will be the man on the mound for Philadelphia tonight. Bryce Harper steps in, batting .278. The first pitch on the way, right there at the knees. 95 miles an hour, it's 0-1. All right, I think we got it synced up now. The 0-1, lefty. Brings it inside, just misses. So 1-1 count. Pitch on the way, swing, pulled the sinker, just went over the top 1-2. Max Fried, you'll see him with 6 different pitches nowadays. Actually 7 if you count the sweeper that he sneaks in from time to time. The 4-seam, the curve, the sink, the change, the slider, and the cutter. Used to be a 4 to 5 pitch pitcher, now 7. The 1-2, Max brings it. Just missed the outer edge. You would have loved to have had that call, but honest engine, it was just off the plate. Good call by Corey Blazer. From what I remember last time we had Corey Blazer, he does squeeze the zone. So he'll call it tight, but pretty efficient. The 2-2, did he go around? Check down the third base line, no dice. Todd Titchener, full count. So a full count. The payoff pitch swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Will it stay in the area to be able to make that catch? It will not. It'll bounce into the stands. Pretty good one-handed grab off the bounce by one of the fans down there. Welcome to the Country Club Grateful via CP. TV, I guess we can start calling it. Payoff pitch, swung on, hit hard on the ground, over to second. Good running play made by Merrifield. He gets to the top of the infield, flips it over to Olsen. That'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the first. Braves grab those sticks.
The only reason I'm even making this video today is to show y'all that the ass is poking. I must have walked by and almost knocked the damn pictures off the wall.
Dad, I don't know why you're carrying on this way. We are, after all, talking about a broken down chair. If you don't like this chair, I'll get you another one. Any chair you want. Really?
All right, I'll tell you what chair I want. I want the chair I was sitting in when I watched Neil Armstrong take his first step on the moon. And when the U.S. hockey team beat the Russians in the '80 Olympics. I want the chair I was sitting in the night you called me to tell me I had a grandson. I want the chair I was in all those nights when your mother used to wake me up with a kiss after I'd fallen asleep in front of the television. You know, I still fall asleep in it. And every once in a while, when I wake up, I still expect your mother to be there ready to lead me off to bed. Oh, never mind. It's only a chair.
But I'm tired of this pandering. You know, you can say
it works.
It works because these people don't know how the country works, and it affects them later in life when they realize when they maybe do get a job and maybe they are working or trying to contribute to society, not living off the system for their entire lives. Then later they go, well, why is inflation so high? Why are interest rates so high? You voted for it, you morons. You're easily fooled. You don't even have to be a good magician to put on a show for these people.
Tony C was having a nice, solid Tony C year, 20 home runs and 67 runs batted in on the evening of August 18th, 1967.
But on that night, Tony C's career would be changed forever by one fateful pitch.
Anyone who's ever been in a ballpark when there's a beating knows the deathly silence. And this, of course, was something that was even more acute because it was Tony C.
I was on deck when Tony got hit, and I'll tell you, the sound of the ball hitting him, I saw his cheek just blow, just like you're blowing up a balloon.
The concern was great that, you know, was he going to lose his vision? And a lot of people just prayed and hoped that he could come back.
Tony wasn't coming back in '67, and his career was in jeopardy.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Michael Harris. The second is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Howdy, Marguerite. See if I've missed anybody. I think I've caught everybody. If not, just jump into the chat. The 0-1. Outside, high and wide, 1-1. Used to, when we first started this channel, I don't know, this gets us our fourth season. We're technically in the third year, or just finished the third year. We started in August of 2021, the 1-1. Outside, wide, 1-2. And there were very few people in the chat, so it was easy to keep up when you started the stream and people jumped in. But now, and it's great to see everybody in there, but it's impossible on my end to see everybody that has been in the chat for the past hour. The 1-2. Up top, misses high, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. If you kind of missed of what the doings are going on Braves Country Radio, we're going to be doing a lot of games over on the Cover Country of the chat version. So in other words, we'll just have the screen up as the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground. Bohm's got it, flips it over to first. He gets Harris by about a step, one away. But it'll be much like the Sunday Fun Day chats where you're going to have the video up. We'll be doing like what you see on the screen, but it'll be a game that we're not calling, and we're going to be doing it. A lot of the games we're going to be doing, they're going to be some kind of interest to Braves fans. So it'll be teams that, like today, when we had the Giants versus the White Sox, because the Giants are on the back heels of the Atlanta Braves in the wild card standing. First pitch on the way to Merrifield is right there. First strike, it's 0-1. We're just going to put it over there. If you want to go over there and chat during the day, if we have it up, we're going to figure out the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, lifted over towards, second base. He slips, falls, and Merrifield busts it down the line, and it should be an infield single. Philly may want to challenge that. Sosa looked like he tripped, but it definitely looked like Merrifield beat it by about a half step or so, and they are not going to challenge it. Sosa, who traditionally plays third base, is over at second base today because they want to bench Stott because of Max Fried on the bump. And so that may have cost them that base runner, but they're willing to do that because Stott does not fare against nasty left-handers well. I'm sure we'll see Stott at some point tonight. The first pitch on the way to Ozuna. It's right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Sosa has never been really known for great defense, but he's a much better third baseman than he is second. The 0-1. Third baseman tonight over there is Bohm. And obviously they didn't want to take his bat out of the lineup. The 0-1. Outside wide, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. There for a while, Bohm was playing first and Harper DHing. But you really don't want to take Schwarber out of the lineup there, and you don't want Schwarber playing anywhere on the defensive side. The 1-1 pitch, down below the knees, 2-1. As a Braves fan, if you think Marcell Ozuna is questionable with the glove in his hand, you ain't seen nothing till you seen Kyle Schwarber. It is, if nothing else, they're going to turn it over and flip it over to first, keep Merrifield close by. Nothing else, it's entertaining. Remember when he was in Boston, he got a Bronx cheer for making a routine ground play by the Red Sox fans because he had made so many errors, and he actually took a bow. The 2-1 pitch. Merrifield fakes to go. He stays. Swing! That ball's lifted high and deep into center field. Dead center, making the catch at the warning track for allowed out number 2 is Rojas. Man, I thought he might have gotten a hold of that one. The wind may affect it. The wind is blowing left to right. Despite what those poles are showing you, they're actually blowing left to right. They're not blowing right to left, which is what's showing in the video. That wind may have affected it, because if it wasn't for the wind, I think that ball stays straight and it probably gets a few more feet. First pitch on the way to Olsen, swung on, chopped over to first. That'll be an easy out. Harper will step on the pillow, and it's just like that. He's out of the inning. Braves get a hit, but that can't do anything with it. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
I feel a little bit attacked right now, TikTok. You know how it says you can choose like where you're at, put your location? Well, I guess based on where I am, it gives me options. Do you know what one of the options is that they gave me? Big Butt Mountain.
It is so hot outside, I almost called my ex so I could be around something shady.
Yesterday, scientists in the United States revealed that beer contains small traces of female hormones. To prove their theory, they fed 100 men 12 pints of beer and observed that 100% of them started talking nonsense and couldn't drive.
But the Red Sox were still in a pennant race, and the burden of carrying the team now fell squarely on the shoulders of Yaz.
Base hit into left. Yastrzemski in on the ball, throwing home. Out at the plate.
He just showed the idea of the game is to win in 15 different ways, and he won games by making great catches.
Yastrzemski making a long run. He makes the catch.
By hitting clutch home runs.
Deep. Let's see. It is in there for a home run, and Yastrzemski in the ninth inning has tied it up.
He hit every kind of pitch. When they tried to pitch around him up high, he tomahawked one out of the ballpark. I mean, it was incredible.
2 runs are coming across. Yastrzemski digs for 3 and triples.
He hustled first to third, second to home, stretched singles to doubles. He was driven.
Yaz was putting up Triple Crown numbers, and in the process, stepped into the spotlight and out of the shadow of the splendid Splinter.
Ted Williams was known just as a hitter, a great hitter. Carl this year has been amazing in all phases of the game. He could beat you with the glove, with the arm, with the legs, and with the bat.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Good to see Caesar and Robert. Lefty-righty matchup on the way. First pitch on the way is right there for a strike at the knees. To Bohm, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Swing, fouls it back. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. Top of the second inning. Infield is back and to the left. The 0-2 kicks and fires. Chops it over to short. RC has got it. Flips it over to first. And 1 up, 1 down here in the second. So, yeah, we'll be putting football games and baseball games over on that cover country. Games of interest, games, especially when football season gets rolling, games we think that a lot of people are betting on, we'll put those on. Remember, cover country starts this Saturday. We talk the lines. Members see it first, see it live, and then you can see the replay. Usually it'll be dropping around 10, 15, something like that. First pitch on the way to Castellanos. Chop foul, it's 0-1. Folks that are country club members, if you got specific games you want us to look at, lines and whatnot, that's what it's for. So fire away the questions on Saturday mornings and we'll take care of them. As well as fantasy football advice, and we'll be going over college football, the NFL. We'll get the shows started early at 8:30 with baseball, the 0-1, right there at the knees, 1-1. Or, excuse me, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Castellanos batting .250 on the year, 1 down, freed at 20 pitches. The 0-2 misses inside, 1-2. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. Yeah, we got the chat up there, Robert, for the Florida State Georgia Tech game. The 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. I don't know how many people you think I am, Robert, but I've got a Braves game to do that night. I'm not just doing play-by-play 24/7 over there, man. Toothpicks in my eyes, energy drinks and illegal substances flowing through my veins. Yeah, that's not happening, pimp. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 away. 2 down. Man, some guy by the name of, I can't read because there's CC across the screen, Kiani something for the Royals. I think it's a manager. I think the Beav's going to be in love over here. Keon Durain. Oh, he's a hitting coach for Kansas City. Is the 0-1. Is the first pitch on the way to Real Muto, drops at the knees, teardrop for a strike. It's 0-1. He could be not quite a twin, but definitely a close, if nothing else, a very either just slightly older brother of Travis d'Arnaud. The 0-1 misses inside 1-1. I looked up over, I always usually have a couple of games in the background to keep an eye on the scores. I looked over and I was like, what the hell is Travis d'Arnaud doing in a Kansas City at? The 1-1, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. JT Realmuto batting .254. The 2-1 pitch. Just misses 3-1. 2 down. Standing on deck is Wilson, Wes Wilson. You'll notice he's got a .341 average when he comes up. Hasn't played much, but pretty impressive. The 3-1 pitch swung on, chopped over to short. Arceus got it, bang, delivers it, and it's 6 up, 6 down. We head to the bottom of the second. The Braves will grab the bats. Murphy, Kelnick, and Arcia.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, you should never. Do you?
Yes.
Nuh-uh, do you really?
Do you not?
Hell no.
You've never done it?
Ever.
You never wanted to do it?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to.
Maybe you should do it.
Nah.
I think you should.
Dude, you're bad. I can already tell you're a horrible influence.
I'm about a damn sucker for a cold beer. It happens all the time. It's 1,050 degrees outside, so I'll get thirsty and I'll say, you know what sounds good? A cold beer. And I'll drink that one, and it's just not quite satisfied. It went down too easy. Or maybe just one more. And then 15 beers later, I'm drunk. And then I'll have me a little nap, and I'll wake up feeling like my sweat will smell like a brewery. Blood has turned into concrete because I'm so ungodly dehydrated. Chug some water, and I'll have a come-to-Jesus meeting with myself, and I'll say, we're not doing that for a little bit. You have got to pull it together. And that lasts about 5 minutes. Ooh, look, a cold beer. And we're off to the rodeo. And if you think I'm just going to have the one, then we do whole hog around these parts. We don't half-ass nothing. Except mowing the yard. I don't do that.
The baseball fans and the Summer of Love people all seem to come and have a common ground and all seem to come to a head in the Fenway Park bleachers.
In previous seasons, Boston couldn't give tickets away at Fenway. Now, fans were coming in droves to see their Sox.
We had standing room only crowd at every game. It became the hottest ticket in town.
Boston came alive. You would go from stoplight to stoplight and hear the game. Go to the beach, hear the game. Go anywhere. So it captivated the city.
The people of Boston were swept up in the historic pennant race of 1967. With just a week to go, there were 4 teams: Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota, and their Red Sox, all within 1.5 games of each other.
We were looking at that scoreboard. There were 3 other teams bunched together, but we had nothing to lose. I mean, coming from 9th place, we were in the pennant race and having fun.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Yes, Robert, the fantasy draft will be live next Saturday. Starts at 8:45. The show will come on at 8:30, but if you're not into fantasy football, I will tell you this, you're probably not going to love it because it's all we do during that draft, and it's just a lot of drafting, not a whole lot of just answering dopey questions or whatever. Like if you're going, oh man, who should I draft? You're probably not going to get a lot of answers. If we see it, we will, but more focused on the draft. Tried to do that in years past and it just doesn't work out. First pitch on the way to Murphy is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Then we go in full show mode for Cover Country the following weekend, where NFL kicks in, college football's in full swing. The 1-0, kicks and fires, inside 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. The 1-1, 92 just misses. 2-1. If you missed that at the beginning, we took Olsen to click 4-3 your score. A little higher scoring than last night at 3-1. I still can't believe we hit that one on the head. I rarely hit them on the head, but I'm assuming this game will get a little higher scoring just because of the law of averages, but two really good starting pitchers. The 2-1 pitch, swing. That ball's dropped into left field, down for a base hit. Smurf leads us off with the single to get it all going here in the bottom of the second. Jared Kelnick will be your hitter. Kid Kelnick stands in. First pitch on the way. 92 miles an hour. A P at the knees on the outer edge. It's 0-1. 236 batter on the year. Kid Kelnick. 13 home runs. The 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Nola comes set, brings it. 2-1. That pitch was well low below the plate. Bottom of the second inning here. You got Murphy standing at first and Kelnick. So it's going to be hard to pull the double play off because of Kelnick on the back end, but obviously Murph does not have great speed. They are kind of cheating towards the bases. The 2-1 pitch. Knuckle curve on the outer edge, 2-2. Aaron Nola, he comes with 5 pitches pretty routinely. The curve, which is what you'll see the knuckle curve up there on the screens. The 4-seam, the sink, the change in the cut. The 2-2 from the right-hander, who just signed a long-term extension last offseason, bangs it over on the ground. It's going to be a 4-6 double play. Kind of a wide throw of the bag towards the infield, but a good snag by Trey Turner. He kept his foot on the base. 1 down. Kelnick easily making it down to first. Sosa once again playing out of position. He was over there pirouetting, and they're fortunate with this because that's the kind of play a guy who doesn't play that position could sail into left field, and then you've got big time trouble. That's what happens when you decide that defense isn't as important as offense in a given day. First pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. Of course, Arcia does not run well for a shortstop, so the double play is in play. The 1-0. Knuckle curve out wide. 2-0. 2-0 count. Arcia batting .225 now on the year. The 2-0 brings it. Swing, chops it off his instep. 2-1. Lando Arcia, 621 OPS. Orlando, who's been moving up and down the lineup all year long. For the last month, he's batted .275, the last 30 games, I should say, but just .150 the last 7 games. The 2-1 misses down and away, ball 3-3-1. In those 7 games, though, it should be noted, his on-base percentage is .292. He has 4 walks. He has 13 walks over the last 30 games. So his OPS is actually .759 in the last 30 games, which isn't terrible. In fact, that's a little above average for an infielder. Middle infielder. The 3-1. Knuckle curve right there, 3-2. Hasn't had near the home runs that he did last year, but that was a career year. If you could get Arcia in a given year to hit around the 250 range, even if he doesn't have a lot of pop but drives in runs and whatnot, you could live with that, especially how low his salary is. The 3-2. Swing, chops it foul once again, bangs it off his foot. We'll do it again. Kelenic hasn't really shown signs of running, but with Real Muto standing back there, very few do like to run on him. Good to see you, JC. The payoff pitch. Kicks and fires. Swing, that ball's hit hard on the ground, but right at Trey Turner. Jared Kelenic was on the move, so they will not be able to double him up. Good base running by Kelenic. He had a pretty good jump, knowing that it was probably, you like that because unless Arcia swings and misses at a fastball, Kelenic's got a pretty good chance of stealing that base. Because it's either going to be a ball that's hit, a strikeout, which Real Muto would have to dive over the batter, as the first pitch on the way to Laureano is 94 on the outer cut. Missed the zone, but called for a strike. It's 0-1. If he swings and misses, he's probably going to be safe because Real Muto has to dodge the batter. And if it's a knuckle curve or something, then he's going to be there with ease. The 0-1, up top, misses 1-1. They check down the line. First base umpire next to Sage says no dice. So a runner in scoring position, and runs will probably be at a premium here in the early going. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. We're hoping for the good Max Fried tonight. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Knuckle curve, it's 1-2. JC says he just had a low country boil. Hey, man, you can't be saying that and not be sharing. Come on now. The 1-2. The righty stands up, looks back, and brings it. Up top, 92 misses high. Just above the letters, 2-2. The 2-2. Runner at second. 2 outs. The 2-2. Deuces wild here in the second. The pitch. Swing! Just got a piece of it. Kind of chopped it off the plate foul towards the third base dugout. Philadelphia in the third base dugout tonight. Braves call first base their home when they're here at Truist Park. About 60% of the teams call first base dugout home. The 2-2. Nolan now at 33 pitches here in the second. He brings it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Knuckle curve got him, and that'll end the inning. Braves get one in scoring position, but can't do a thing with it. We'll be back in a flash. Head to the third. Wilson, Sosa. The bottom of the order due up.
I have had so many NFL players hit my DMs.
So I've been seeing a lot of reaction to this video, and it's pretty up what you guys have been saying. As one of the NFL players, like, I can confirm, I've been reaching out to her. We've had a lot of injuries on the O-line, and we could use a left tackle right now.
Do y'all remember those cars? I don't think they make them anymore, but when I was a kid, they had those cars that you had to blow on the machine, like, to power it. It wasn't like push to start, or it wasn't like an electric vehicle, but it was like a blow to start. It was like, and then it would start. You guys remember those? Because I remember in my neighborhood, there's this guy that had one of those cars. I don't know why he bought this type of car, because he could never start it. He would always ask me to start it for him. And I don't know how. I was like 6 years old, and I would always get on the first try when the car would start. You guys remember those cars? I don't know if it was like a Tesla back in the day. I don't think they made Teslas, but high tech. Now they don't make those. If you had one of those, please let me know what happened to those cars.
My favorite Met story is about their shortstop, Elio Chacon, who was eager but not very talented, and kept running into the outfield and knocking down Richie Ashburn as he was about to catch a fly ball. And he didn't speak any English, and so somebody, Joe Christopher, went to him and tried to explain this. And then he went to Richie Ashburn. He said, if you're going to catch a fly ball, he said, and you see Chacon coming out, what you want to say is, yo la tengo, I've got it. And then I've told him, and he'll pull up. So Richie practiced. He said, yo la tengo. And game came along, and the situation was a fly ball. He looked up for the fly ball. Chacon rushed out for him. Richie said, yo la tengo, and put his hands up, and he was knocked flat by Frank Thomas, his left fielder. That was the Mets.
Welcome back. Max Fried begins the top of the third inning with a strike on the inner cut to Wes Wilson. It's 0-1. Fried starts the inning with 28. That was his 29th pitch. The 0-1. Inside 1-1. So 1-1 count. Kicks and fires. 93 misses inside and high, 2-1. Bottom of the order here for the Philadelphia Phillies. The 2-1 pitch swung on and ripped up the middle for a base hit. And that seems what Wes Wilson does. He's now batting .356. He's 29 years old, drafted by the Brewers way back in 2016. Played his college ball for Clemson and did not make his major league debut until last year, where he only had 16 at-bats. This year, he's only had 44 at-bats. So for whatever reason, he's not getting his opportunity to come to the major leagues. But now through 60 at-bats in the majors, he has a .333 batting average. First pitch on the way to Sosa is a curveball right there at the knees. It's 0-1. The 0-1. His OPS for his career is 1,000. Bang down the third base line. It's 0-2. And in that small period of time, he's got 4 home runs. So I don't know why it took him so long to get here, and I don't know why he's not getting in at bats. But we would take that in a heartbeat in Braves country. The 0-2, swing, chops it over to third. He's going to be a 5, 4, 3. Rally killing double play. Good play by Urshela. That was a hot shot down there. Makes you almost forget that Austin Riley's on the shelf. Good defensive play. Hard hit ball. But right at Urshela. Number 9 hitter Rojas now comes to the plate. First pitch, pop back foul. It's 0-1. Yeah, 29 years old, that Weston Wilson, but I mean, something, I guess maybe something finally clicked for him. The 0-1. Check swing, kind of an excuse me swing. Over towards the first base dugout, 0-2. The 0-2. I would think he has a bunch of control left. I'm about to check it right now. The 0-2, down below the knees, 1-2. 1-2 count. Braves nothing, Phillies nothing. Yeah, he still has, man, he's pre-arbitration till 2027. The 1-2. Caught looking strike 3. He got caught watching the paint dry. That Wes Wilson, who's batting .333 for his career, he is going to be under team control until he's about 35. I guess after that he can run for president.
For the love of God, tell me I am not the only person that keeps up with their town's arrest page on Facebook. You know that page that posts the mug shots and their charges and stuff for everybody that you know in the town you live in? If you want to know what your community is like, check out that page. Not really the people that got arrested, but the comments on those posts. See, on ours, there's one guy that turned every one of them into a smash or pass. It's great. I look forward to those comments. Then there's the women that get arrested, and if they look even a little bit decent, there's all her friends comment and say, "Slay! You look so good, your mugshot's so pretty." Tell her to get her together. She just got busted with 4 pounds of meth. Not to mention the creepy guys, it's like, "I'm on my way with bail money. I can fix her." Boy, you can't fix your damn hair. Shut up. Then you got the dudes talking about, "Free my homie. Your boy is awaiting trial for murder." What do you mean, free my homie? Keep him in there. Keep him. We don't want him.
The Mets ended their first season with a record of 40 wins and 120 losses, the worst record in the 20th century. They would stay in the cellar for 5 more seasons, but they consistently drew more fans than the New York Yankees.
An amazing thing happened, which was that New York took this losing team to its bosom. Everybody thinks New York only cares about champions, but we cared about the Mets. And I remember going to some games in June that year, and they were getting walloped. They were getting horribly beaten. But the crowds came out to the Polo Grounds in great numbers. People brought horns and blew these horns. And after a while, I realized that this was probably antimatter to the Yankees, who were across the river and had won so long. And winning is not a whole lot of fun if it goes on. But the Mets were human. And that horn, I began to realize, was blowing for me, because there's more Met than Yankee in all of us. What we experience day to day in our lives is there's much more losing than winning.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Aaron Nola goes back to work. First pitch on the way to Urshela is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Those of y'all who are watching on the YouTube cast, you know what I mean, but those listening on radio, when they come back from break and whatnot, it's pretty funny how the players are actually, after every at bat is the 1-0 pitch swung on. That ball is going to be lifted high into right field, drifting back, making the catch. Loud out number 1, start the third. But they pop up out of the ground like they're coming from a trap door. One down. Yeah. Breaking Bad was very good, JC. If you just are watching that, then you need to see Better Call Saul. First pitch on the way is outside wide. It's 1-0. Harris 0 for 1 on the night. Better Call Saul, if you haven't seen it yet, JC, it's a prequel to Breaking Bad. The 1-0. I think it's on Netflix, the 1-0. Down below the knees, 2-0. Yeah, the movie was terrible. It was anticlimactic, Russell. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't as good as you thought it would be. 2-0 count. Righty, lefty. Turns and delivers. Swung on, chopped over to third. Easy grounder. Bohm's got it. Quick out number 2 by Harris here in the third. Two down. Whit Merrifield coming to the plate. Merrifield all the way to the number 2 spot in the order. You might wonder, well, what is he doing there? Merrifield in the last 7 games hitting .364. First pitch on the way, outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Whit Merrifield in the last 15 games still hitting .289, .271 in the last 30, which have been with Atlanta. During that stretch of the 30 games, his OPS is up over 800. The 1-0 right there at the knees, 1-1. He's only hit 1 home run, but he's getting extra bases galore, doubles, triples. And then, of course, when he's on the bags, I mean, he's got 5 stolen bases in the last 30 games. 1-1 count. Brings it. Chops it back behind the plate. 1-2. The 1-2. Righty. TB says, when do I have time to watch TV? You'll notice these are all old shows. I don't anymore. These are shows that I've watched. The 1-2. Down and away, 2-2. When I'm in the studio and I'm getting ready for the games, I'm doing all the editing and stuff, I'll have something playing in the background, but Honest Engine, I probably hear 5% of it. The 2-2. Brings it. And delivers. Down and away, 3-2. I did watch the fantasy football draft, the replay of it, recorded it last night. It was on during our game. It's the annual fantasy football draft by ESPN. And I don't like a lot of ESPN content. I've got a problem with a lot of stuff they do, but it's still one of my favorite things because it's the only one that anyone ever really does anymore. The payoff pitch, swing down the right field line, just foul, just out of play. We'll do it again. The other ones that you see on YouTube and whatnot, they do them so often. They're mock drafts. They're not real drafts. That they don't draft. You know, in other words, they're not drafting for a real team. They're going to keep up with all year. So to me, they're kind of dull because you're like, okay, payoff pitch, swung on, chopped foul once again. What I get out of that normally is like, okay, but what you just told me is normally I'm not drafting this way, but I'm going to do it for fun on this one, and it just doesn't hold a lot of interest. But if you know people are drafting, if you play fantasy sports or gamble or whatever, if you know people are actually drafting for something they're going to keep up all year long, it's more interesting. The 3-2 inside, ball 4. So there goes that man again, Whit Merrifield. It's not going to improve his batting average, but boy, is it going to help that OPS climb just a little higher. On base percentage as well. And here comes the big zoo. He just missed going bonzo the other night. I mean, the last time he was up. He did go yard last night. Maybe he can straighten one out here and give us a lead. Hit number 37 last night if you missed it. First pitch on the way. Change up. In on the hands. Chopped it foul. Off his leg. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Took me a long time, since you're talking about show, it took me a long time to watch Boardwalk Empire, but man, is that a phenomenal show. The 0-1. Down below the knees, 1-1. The 1-1 count. Righty, the pitch. Outside wide, 2-1. Sons of Anarchy was really good. The Mayans, I couldn't get interested in it. They didn't have any interesting characters. I am looking forward to the one that they're supposed to be doing a prequel. I wish they would have done that one first because it's much more interesting. It's supposed to be the beginning of it all. The 2-1. Swinging, that ball's hammered into left field. That's down for a base hit. 2 on, 2 out. Merrifield will go station to station with the ball hit hard into left field. Not a real opportunity to go first to third, but he is in scoring position. I probably need to give the Mayans another chance. I watched a couple episodes. I was like, I don't know. But whenever that prequel comes out that they're supposed to do, looking forward to that one. It's supposed to be the beginning of SOA before it was, take place in the 60s, I believe. Two on, 2 out. Matt Olson stands in. The first pitch. Outside wide, 1-0. Braves, once again, got a runner in scoring position. You like to see him cash in. Nola is at 52 pitches. So they continue to make him work. Regardless, this will be a productive inning. The 1-0 to Olson. Up top, misses high inside, spun him around. 2-1. Or 2-0, excuse me. So a 2-0 count. Matt Olson has normally done his damage against the Phillies in Philadelphia his entire career. Maybe he can turn the tables here. The 2-0. A wiffle ball that slaps the side of the zone, 2-1. That was there's a knuckle curve that had a different dart to it. It didn't hit the zone, but I'll tell you what, it was such a good pitch. I think it fooled the ump. The 2-1 pitch. High. Top shelf just misses 3-1. That pitch may have hit the zone, so we'll call it even Steven. Because that one looked like, well, it might have been a touch high. If you look at the stat track, that's not really where he caught it. The 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Tried to hit that wiffle ball again, and that time it did not turn like it did the first time. You know, to check that ball, make sure he doesn't have holes in that damn thing. Y'all ever played wiffle ball when you were a kid, man? We had this one kid that could throw a knuckle from behind his back. And you talk about everyone calling shenanigans on the playground when he would throw. Like you'd see it just pop out from under his back, and he would just start diving in. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Sean Murphy is your batter, 1 for 1. The good news with Murphy up to the plate with 2 outs, there is no chance of a double play, so there's, that going on. Murphy. Nola, by the way, 56 pitches now. The Smurf. I'd like to see him start heating up. I would think Darno tomorrow, but haven't seen any updates. First pitch. 92 below the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Murph didn't like it. Stood there and stared at. That's about all you're going to get out of a catcher usually. They're going to let you know that they know you blew the call, but they aren't going to say anything. They want those same calls when they're behind the plate. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Remember, Travis d'Arnaud was hit in the wrist on Saturday night. He has not played since. They haven't made a move. I think they're just trying to give him extra rest. The 0-2 brings it. Chops it back to Nola, flips it over to first. It's a 1-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. But the Braves do run up his pitch count. We'll be back in a flash. Top of the order coming to the plate for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Something that's not a call, but seems like a call.
People that eat sushi. All the ways you could cook fish. You chose none of them. Nope, you eat it raw and wrapped in its own habitat. Then you dip it in something looks like green Play-Doh. Tastes like the center of the sun. Who hurt you?
Could NFL guys play in the NBA? Could NBA guys play in the NFL? And then
this conversation been following us
everywhere. Do you guys feel like baseball players would be the best?
Name me an NFL player who could come out here and hit 300 or hit 20 home runs. Tell me one who can hit a slider. I just faced this man named Waldron, and he threw a knuckleball. Brother, come on. And listen. Tell me how many Rangers swore sinker, bro. I swear. They're not hitting that. They ain't hitting none of that. We'll say it like this. I could go be a quarterback. I can go throw that thing. And I'm going to go and listen. And he's going to go get it. I need a circuit. Take all football players, basketball, baseball, and do like 7-on-7 flag football, basketball game. Then they go around, and when they get to the baseball, put the machine on 95 and see how much of them going to hit a homer. None. I know baseball players who could dunk 360.
So baseball has the best all-around coordination.
I would say, yeah.
Hey, Mom, we're running a little bit late, so I don't know if we're going to have time to stop at Buc-ee's.
We stopping at Buc-ee's.
But, Mom, we might be late.
We stopping at Buc-ee's.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the history of the bullpen cart. The first bullpen cart was a little red auto used by the Cleveland Indians in 1950. The White Sox would take it one step further the next year and become the first team to transport the pitcher from the bullpen all the way to the pitcher's mound. In 1959, the Milwaukee Braves used a locally produced Harley-Davidson topper with a sidecar as their bullpen cart. The Mets would follow suit in 1967, but add an oversized team hat to the top of it. In the early 1970s, the Yankees used a Datsun 1200 painted with pinstripes. The Mariners began using one in 1982 that looked like a tugboat and was called the MS Relief. The last Major League Baseball team to use a bullpen cart prior to its reintroduction in 2018 was the Milwaukee Brewers when they phased out their motorcycle in 1995. In the last 7 years, the Diamondbacks, the Tigers, and the Nationals have reintroduced bullpen carts.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. 0-0 your score. First pitch on the way from Freed is a curveball right there at the knees. It's 0-1. I don't think Prophet understood what happened in that inning. Olsen walked. It was Murphy that ended the inning. The 0-1 right down below the knees, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. .41 pitches in. They set up outside. 94 misses wide, 2-1. Kyle Schwarber always has a high walk rate. He also has a high strikeout rate. He will take pitches and then sit dead red on what he thinks he can send out of the building. The 2-1, swing, fouls it away. 2-2. He's made a good living off of it. Came up originally with the Cubs. It's a part of that 2016 championship team. At that time, he really wasn't. Prophet. He said his son turned off his computer in the middle of the game. The 2-2 swung on, roasted into left field. That's going to be a leadoff single for the Philadelphia Phillies. So trouble brewing here in the top of the fourth inning, top of the order. 0-0 your score. Braves had two golden opportunities to really last inning was the big golden opportunity. They did have a runner in scoring position in the second as well, but when you had the bases loaded, you really like to see get something in, even if it's just one run. Trey Turner, the batter, the first pitch. Up high, misses, nowhere near the zone, 1-0. The 1-0. You know, the way he's swinging the bat, I'm thinking when the lefty's on the mound tomorrow is the 1-0, swung on, hammered down the third base line. I don't know if they'll do it because they're all about the analytics and blah, blah, blah. But considering what's been going on recently, I'd like to see the right-handed Merrifield leading off. Because Harris does not do that well against lefties. You don't have to drop Harris that far down the lineup. I mean, injuries we got, no sense in that. But maybe just flip-flop them in the order, have Harris hit 2 and Merrifield 1. He was released by the Phillies, but a lot of people don't realize he had a really good career with Kansas City. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Might have got a piece of it. Nonetheless, it's 1-2. So 1-2 count. Standing on deck is Harper. In the hole is Bohm. Trey Turner batting .307 on the year. Max brings it. Swing, chops it hard down to third. Backhanded by Urshela. He fires it over to second. Flips it to first. It's going to be a 5-4-3. That was close. They said that Turner is safe. They may want to look at that. I am amazed that it was that close. And they are going to take a look. So we'll see what happens here. That's Trey Turner running down the line. And Urshela turned and fired a bullet to Merrifield, who got it out of his glove extremely quick. And he got it down to first. Let's see the replay here. Yeah, they got him. They got him by a half step. Well, quarter step. Half step might be a little generous, but they got him by a quarter step. His foot had not hit the bag when the ball hits the back of that glove. And if they don't overturn it, they're going to say, well, there wasn't enough evidence. Anybody with any kind of common sense knows he did not beat that out. The best angle they're showing on the Jumbotron here at Truist Park. And it's not until the ball hits the back of his glove that his front of his foot finally hits the pillow. In fact, even the Philly cast has said that that's an out. It was a close play. I'm not going to get all over the first base umpire, Seja, for blowing that. I mean, it was bang, bang. But this is what replay's for, and if they don't get this right, they won the other night. I'll no longer ever just assume they're going to overturn something because of common sense. Here's the call on the field. Will call him out, and it's a double play. Great, outstanding double play once again. What's even more impressive about that double play is that Orlando Arcia wasn't a part of it. Normally when something like that happens, because the shotgun that's at the end of the arm socket of Orlando Arcia goes off, but Urshela had to go into the hole, or into foul territory, I should say, as the first pitch to Harper is 94 outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. His momentum taking him towards the third base dugout, spun and fired a perfect dime to Merrifield, who in one motion, as the 1-0, swing and a miss, 94, up top 1-1, in one motion brought it down to first. And if you don't do that perfectly like that, there's no way you're getting Turner. And I'm still surprised Turner didn't beat that out. The 1-1, misses high, 2-1. He's not only one of the faster guys in baseball, he's one of the better base runners in baseball. His home to first numbers are always top of major leagues. The 2-1 count, swing and a miss, 2-2. They got it listed as the cutter, but I'm pretty sure that was his slider. So a 2-2. A couple of Braves fans are getting on their feet, trying to root on Fried versus Harper. The pitch, swung on, chops it foul on his instep, will do it again. Every time I see a Braves fan on Twitter or wherever say, don't even re-sign Max Fried, we don't want him, then he goes out here and spins the gym against the Phillies so far. I still think it's going to be hard-pressed to see him come back to Atlanta because of the money he's going to command. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the bender, and that'll end the inning. So a great defensive play and good pitching by Max Fried has us tied with the Phils. We head to the bottom of 4.
Listen, I don't care who you are, what weight class you in, where you've been, I don't county you've been a part of. I'm ready to go whenever you are. I'm just saying.
A buddy of mine was like, hey, I'm going camping this summer. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I'm not a camping guy, okay? I prefer to not camp and shower. But I get the appeal. You get to bathe in a lake and poop in the woods like it's the 1700s, and you get to put food in a container so that a bear doesn't eat it or you, and you get to start a lot of sentences with, oh crap, I forgot the, and you get to disconnect from your phone and basic hygiene, and you get to wake up and go, did anybody hear that? And you get to stare out onto a beautiful lake and think to yourself, this is what it's all about, right before a horsefly bites you in the face. And you get an overall sense of pride and poison ivy. So I don't mind camping, but I'll stay in a hotel nearby and I'll meet you up for some marshmallows. So
In 1860, someone came up with an idea. Why wait until it got warm to play baseball? We can just play baseball in the winter. And that's how Baseball on Ice was born. So how exactly does it work? It was still baseball, other than the fact that it was the mid-1800s, so pitchers were throwing underhand and gloves were nowhere to be found. One of the earliest documented instances occurred in January of 1860. Not only was there an increase at the gates, there was also an increase in collisions and falls. A year later, the Brooklyn Atlantics, one of the best teams in the National Association, beat the Charter Oaks 36-27 in the first game of ice baseball played in New York. Winds and terrible weather made things way more difficult for players who were already struggling at skating, and not long after, Baseball on Ice had reached its end. It did make a comeback for 2 games in 1884, but in those games, there was 27 errors. Can't I say let's bring it back? Skeens on the mound with his 100-plus fastball, Ohtani at bat trying to take it 400 feet, players from both teams making diving plays and skates. I'd watch it. Would you?
Welcome back. First pitch on the way to Kid Kelnick is in the dirt for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Righty, lefty. Kicks and fires. Swing. That ball's laced into right field. That's down for a base hit. Kid Kelnick appears to be warming up a little bit. Braves could really use that. We don't need to be scalding hot like he was into late May into early June, but delivering some big base hits throughout the week, that's all you're really looking for. Hopefully, Jorge Soler will be. Thank you, Brian. Keeping a heads up on it. Thanks for stopping us. First pitch on the way to Lando Arcia is right there at the knees for a strike. I really have a hard time getting that. Down below the knees on the two. Try to check it during the breaks, but sometimes there's other things I have to do during breaks. So a 1-1 count. Lando Arcia 0 for 1 on the night. He's got 11 home runs, the pitch. Down and away, 2-1. The 2-1. Brings it. Swing! That ball is belted high and deep. Going back on the track. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Whamma, lamma, ding dong. A 2-run shot. And your Atlanta Braves have taken a 2-0 lead against your Philadelphia Phillies. That was a hanger. His 36th RBI of the year, 387 happy feet later, 97 miles an hour off the bat. Atlanta grabs a 2-0 lead, gets a big hug from the Big Bear. First pitch on the way to Ramon Laureano is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. I can see why Wes Wilson may not be in games very often. About separated his shoulder jumping for that home run ball. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. I was reading his bio, and it looks like he's been banged up over the years. But all in all, it just took him a long time to really become a hitter in the minor leagues. But he has had some injuries, and usually they go hand in hand. He smoked his right shoulder as he was leaping for that home run ball. The 1-1 is outside, really wide, called for a strike 1 and 2. Bad call by Blazer. He's called an okay game tonight, but a few of those a little off the edge. The 1-2, 91, just misses. Just about the same area. Yeah, that was a hanging slider. You throw a slider to an MLB hitter just above the belt and over the plate, there's very few that are going to miss that. I always think of the old 61 movie where Mickey and is the 2-2? Swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away. The guys that were playing Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris, the whole movie would go by each other. Goes, was that the slider? Yeah, it didn't slide though. Was that the fastball? It wasn't fast enough. One down. Righty-righty matchup is Urshela, who made an outstanding defense. He's been pretty impressive so far defensively. We know he's not going to bring the lumber, but if he can just hit right there at that 240 mark, we can live with that. Once Soler comes back and eventually get Ozzie, the 1-0. 93 out wide for a strike, 1-1. You start getting these guys with hits, it starts getting they always say that it's contagious. I really think what it is the guys get hotter than the guys who aren't necessarily as great at hitters. They get better pitches because you don't want to face them. The 1-1 swing, and that ball's lifted into left field. That's going to be down for a base hit, and we'll take that all day long. Mr. Gio, his first base hitter is an Atlanta Brave, and everyone's at the top of the dugout. The celebration. Did that little celebration with the hands together, but the way he did it was just kind of funny because he looked like a little kid. First pitch on the way to Harris is foul back out of play. It's 0-1. I'm still not the biggest fan of that celebration. I wish they would come up with something, but it's better than the goofy dance that Harris and somebody else does it too. I think it's Arcia, because that thing just reeks of the terrible Los Angeles Dodger one. The 0-1, misses high, 1-1. They're never going to beat the 2021 chop that was they tried to say it was a sword, but get the hell out of here. That was a chop. The 1-1. Righty lefty Harris chops it back to Nola. Nola's going to have to wait for the ball to get to him. He will get Harris by a few steps, but Urshela will easily make it down to second. With that being said, now we got another runner in scoring position. Runner in scoring position. Number 2 hitter, merry-go-round. The ice cream man, Whit Merrifield, is coming to the plate. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch, swing, hit it on the ground over towards short. Turner's got it, fires it over to first. Good play by Trey Turner to end the inning. But not for your Atlanta Braves. Put 2 on the board. Or see you later makes it 2-0 here in Atlanta.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but when somebody say they don't like me, it's like, ouch, you hit me right where I don't give a f. I'm going.
Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb? I'm not choosing.
Oh, Mr. Pibb, he's a blue-collar guy and likes golf girls.
Definitely.
Amen right there.
Definitely Mr. Pibb, because, Dr. Pepper, he's probably a doctor just because he got it, through the Sador Desert Institute.
My thing is, I like both, but Mr. Pibb's confusing to me because it's considered a spicy cherry soda, and I've never tasted cherry in it.
There ain't no damn cherry in Mr. Pibb.
I feel like it's a lie like chair wine. Like everyone's like, oh, chair wine's great. No, it's not.
Who told you there was cherry in it?
Hold on, look at it.
It says it on the can.
This is good.
Okay.
It says spicy cherry soda.
Well, I saw a meth head the other day that had on pants that said juicy across the ass, and she was wearing long sleeve panties. So obviously that was a lie.
Y'all, is it just me or does it seem like going camping is just practicing to be homeless?
Baseball's rich in wonderful statistics, but it's hard to find one more beautiful than Stan Musial's hitting record. Stan Musial got 3,630 hits. 1,815 at home, 1,815 on the road. He didn't care where he was, he just hit.
He left the field for the last time on September 29, 1963.
When Stan Musial took his first big league at-bat, America was not yet in World War II. They were 6 years removed from Jackie Robinson. There were no baseball games to speak of on television. You traveled to games in trains. When Stan Musial took his last at-bat as the National League's all-time leader in hits, second on that list only to Ty Cobb, his last base hit went past the lunge of a rookie second baseman named Pete Rose, who would eventually pass him and would eventually pass Cobb.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves lead this 1-2-0. We head to the top of the fifth. The first pitch is missed for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 chopped hard on the ground, but right at Arcia. The Magic Kingdom, Orlando to Ice House. 6-3 in your scorecard. What a way. One down. middle of the order here for the Phillies. Did Arcia do? Oh, God. His first pitch on the way swung up, hit high and deep into right field. Going back on the very back of the warning track is Ramon Laureano, 2 down. I'm going to have to rewind this because something went down, and they're not showing it on the Braves cast, but they were showing it on the Phillies cast. Let me see what it was. They were replaying the Orlando Arcia home run, and it looked like he was Cadillacing, stirring up more junk. Two down. Here it goes. He hit the home run, hit first, and as he's turning around, he says or looks at somebody. Oh, he's staring at Harper. He's bringing it, man. Here we go again. First pitch to Real Muto is misses for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 misses. 2-0. I mean, quit poking the bear. That's all I can say, man. So a 2-0 count. Outside wide, 3-0. Because I don't think he's going to fight him. So if he's not going to fight him, like, what are you doing? You're just staring to stare? The 3-0. Because all I know is that back in the playoffs last year, he sit there with his tail between his legs, didn't do anything when Harper stared him down viciously. The 3-0. Right there on the intercut, 3-1. So it's Orlando Arcia. If y'all remember what happened last year in the playoffs, where it all began, where at the end of Game 2 in Atlanta, as a 3-1 swung on chop foul, 3-2. There was a ball hit high and deep into center field that Harris made a hell of a catch on. He threw it into the infield, and they doubled up Harper on a ridiculously great play by Austin Riley, who cut across the infield. After the game, there was one of these influencers, these guys that call themselves writers, but they're not, is the 3-2. Hammered foul up against the tarps down the third base line, would do it again. And he yelled out in the clubhouse, "Attaboy, Harper, attaboy," that kind of thing. And this guy that called himself a writer, he wasn't really a writer, but they let anybody in these clubhouses anymore. He reported it, and it ticked off the Phillies, and it ticked off Harper, and Harper used it as ammunition as the 3-2. Top of the zone, blown call. My God. Corey Blazer, be better at your job, son. 2 away. 2 away, 1 on. That teardrop hit the top of the zone, the inner paint. I mean, no part of that ball was even on the edges of the strike zone. First pitch on the way is a curveball right there on the intercut. It's 0-1. But the point is, so Harper tore Atlanta pitching up in Philadelphia and stared down Arcia big time, punking him as he went around the bases. The 0-1 chopped over to Urshela. He's got it. Fires it across to first. That'll end the inning. More on that when we come back. But basically, Arcia needs to show up in big moments, not in the 4th inning in August.
In the South, drinking and driving does not apply to dirt roads. And if you ever hit the ditch and get stuck, I got a buddy that'll come pull you out for a pack of Marlboro Reds and a 6-pack of Natty Daddies. In the South, it's best not to ask somebody about their car unless you want to hear about all the work they've done to it over the past 25 years. In the South, if you see a cop, it's common courtesy to flash every driver you see after that to let them know that there's danger ahead. You ever seen a lawnmower going down the highway going 75 miles an hour? Do you drink your sweet tea out of mason jars? You ever seen a fight break out at a cornhole tournament? Do you or somebody you know have a finger missing because they held a firecracker too long? You might be from the South. You see a Subaru with an AC unit strapped in the back windshield, you're in the right place. If you see a John Deere tractor in the Wendy's drive-thru, you're probably in the right place. If husband and wife start looking more like brother and sister, you done got lost. That ain't the South I'm talking about. You in the wrong place.
the thing that slowly dawns on us after we watch a number of games is the absence of a clock. It's one of the several things that are quite unique about this game. There's nothing ticking away out there. We don't look at the clock and say this game is soon going to be over. The game might be over soon and not for hours or not ever, in effect. If you keep hitting, you'll live forever because the last out will never come. I'm 70 years old now, and soon I will remember what Casey said when he was 75. He said, most people my age are dead, and you could look it up.
Casey Stengel was starting to show his age. He sometimes dozed off during games, began to mutter about his younger players. The youth of America, he said, you tell them, here is the opportunity. And the youth of America says, where is the money? In July of 1965, the Mets organized an Old Timers Day to coincide with Stengel's 75th birthday. There were no Met Old Timers. The National League veterans who turned out had all been Dodgers or Giants.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. So, the point of that story is, after all that happened where he punked out Arcia, and Arcia just ate it all offseason. I mean, there were a couple of times we were on the bases, and I said it back then during the games. I said, if I'm Arcia, and I mean, they were getting pummeled in the deciding game, in the second game, or the third game of the series. Like, dude, I just charge Harper. Just lay him out. We both get kicked out. I guarantee you that's advantage Atlanta. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is chopped foul. It's 0-1. But after he hit the home run an inning ago, the Philadelphia broadcast showed it. I didn't see the Atlanta broadcast showed it. They weren't paying attention or whatever. But the Philly broadcast showed it. He rounded first and turned back and mean-mugged Harper, who was several feet away. As he 0-1, down and away, 1-1. But the point is, man, let sleeping dogs lie. I don't care what you think, Arcia. You're not as good as Harper. You don't need him being all locked in and loaded because you're not going to outplay him. You're just not going to do it. And if you weren't going to stand up for yourself in October, I don't want to see you standing up for yourself in August. The 1-1. Misses inside, called for a strike, and these strikes are getting really ridiculous. Home plate umpire Corey Blazier, who's starting to expand the zone against the Braves primarily. It's just happenstance that the pitches haven't been that close, but the Braves are getting the short end of the stick on this one. The 1-2. Caught looking, strike 3. You know, if I'm Ozuna, I say, man, I wasn't sure if that was a strike or not, if I should swing at it, because that one that you gave against Max Fried last inning was in that same spot, essentially. That was a strike, but the one that set it up 1-2 definitely was not. One down. Tail of the tape right now, if you're curious about. Is the first pitch on the way to Olsen. 0 for 1 with a walk. Misses down. It's 1-0. Tail of the tape right now. Philadelphia. Aaron Nola has 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 2 earned runs against him. 1-0. Right there for a strike 1-1. He's given up 6 hits in 4 1/3, whereas Max Fried, 5 innings, 2 hits, 4 Ks, and just 1 walk. The 1-1, swing and a miss, outer edge 1-2. I seriously doubt that, AY. So 1-2 count. I think Harper would beat him to a pulp. Because he definitely punked him out. The 1-2. Caught looking, strike 3. Up top, 2 away. Harper's got a fire. He's a gamer. You know, I know a lot of us don't like him. But he definitely doesn't back down. Arcia backed down, and we saw it. The whole nation saw it last October. 3 times he circled the bases and stared down Arcia. And you don't do that. You don't do that and get away with it. You have to stand up for yourself and charge him, because eventually you have to say, what? What are you looking at, son? And he didn't do it. He swallowed it all 3 times. First pitch to Murphy's off the plate for a ball. It's 1-0. And I don't even care if he gets whipped by Harper, but stand up for yourself. The 1-0. Down and in, 1-1. As a smart man once told me years and years ago, you ain't got to win the fight, but you got to make sure that they understand that you were there and they don't want to see you again. The 1-1. Nola. 88th pitch of the night is down and away, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Anyways, go back and watch the tail of the tape. He got absolutely punked. The 2-1. Inside 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Braves lead at 2-0, bottom of the 5th. I dang sure don't want to sit here and defend Bryce Harper all night long because he's my least favorite player in baseball. But I guess that's what irritated me so much about Arcia last year. He just swallowed it. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Well, Nola probably coming back out for another inning is starting to cruise along. Hopefully Max Fried can keep them where they're at.
Say the weird thing.
I'm a grown-ass man, but I still confuse the 2 words idea and ideal. It's not an idea situation.
Who's ready for some Rickey Henderson stories? Ricky is. After striking out in a game in Seattle, the next batter was walking past him and heard him say, "Don't worry, Ricky, you're still the best." He once asked a teammate how long it would take him to drive to the Dominican Republic. In his first season with the Padres, he boarded the team bus and was looking for a seat when Steve Finley said, "You have tenure, sit wherever you want." To which Ricky replied, "Tenure? Ricky's been in the league at least 16, 17 years. After he broke Ty Cobb's career record for runs with a home run, he capped it off by sliding into home plate. When Ricky and the Mets stayed in a hotel in Cincinnati less than a mile from the field, instead of walking or taking the bus, Ricky pulled up in a stretch limo. After telling Will Clark he was going to steal second base, the Giants pitched out but couldn't throw him out. Afterwards, he jumps up and stares and points at Will Clark saying, "I told you, Thrill, Ricky gone, Ricky gone." Despite only winning 1 Gold Glove in his career, he sometimes signed 2 Gold Gloves when autographing stuff for fans. In 1985, there was a strike that lasted 2 days. Ricky ended up missing a doubleheader when play resumed because he didn't know the strike was over. In his 1976 high school yearbook, it says, "Being cool is what Ricky Henderson practices all day." With the new MLB rules, how many stolen bases would Ricky Henderson have if he played today?
During the celebrations, Stengel fell off a bar stool and broke his hip. It took a long time to heal, and he and management finally agreed that it was time for him to quit.
Recognition of these services, this number will be retired, never worn by another Mets player, and placed in a glass case here at Shea Stadium in appreciation of your services.
Thank you very much. I hope they don't make a mummy under that glass case. Make a mummy out of me and keep me there that long.
I'd like to see them give that number 37 to some young player so it can go on and do some good for the Mets. But the Mets finished 10th again. The biggest crowd at Shea Stadium that year came to see the Beatles.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Max Fried back on the bump. We head to the top of the 6th. Max is just 66 pitches, so good job on that front. First pitch on the way. 92 inside for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty righty. Inside. 1-1. So 1-1 count. Max Fried drops the cutter down below the knees. They checked down the third base line. Man, that was quick. He did not go around 2-1. That was extremely quick. Guess the Freeze lost the Rays. I don't think it's the same guy anymore, is it? I know they were looking for a replacement. The 2-1. Up high and out of the zone, ball 3-1. The 3-1 count. brings it, chops foul down the third base side, 3-2. I guess the biggest thing with that whole Arcia thing is like, yeah, man, I'm pulling for him. Of course I am. I'm damn sure not pulling for Harper. I don't think there's an athlete I despise more that I can think of off the top of my head than Harper. But he stepped up in a big moment, and he had the opportunity. If he took offense to him staring him down, he had an opportunity to do something about it 3 times in October. And to wait a full year when these games don't mean nearly as much as, I don't know, it's just lame. The 3-2 pitch is going to get dropped into left field for a leadoff single. Sosa just kind of fisted it, and Kelenic, charging the ball, was not able to get to it. It's kind of the equivalent. Well, actually, it is the equivalent of, like, I'm trying to think of one of the players that played in that era, but we'll just say, like, I know a lot of people probably grew up in the Jordan era. As the first pitch on the way is pushed up the first base side by Rojas, but it'll roll foul. It's 0-1. All those years that Jordan and the Bulls won the championships, and it would be like John Stockton or Karl Malone talking smack as they hit a jumper in his face in February. It doesn't equate. The 0-1 ripped into left field. That's going to get over Kelenic's head off the wall, and just like that, the tying runs are sitting it on second and third. And kind of the point of what we were saying, it's coming true. You woke them up, you ticked them off, and here they come. And he better be able to do more than just get one base hit here and there, because if he's going to be that guy running those lips and batting .225, that ain't going to make it. So 2 on, nobody out. Smoked that ball over at Kelenic's head. Now back to the top of the order. You could almost feel what's going to happen. He's going to crank one and shove it right down Arcia's throat. First pitch on the way is smoked up the middle. Arcia's got it. Flips it over to first. 6-3 putout, but a runner scores, and the tying run is now 90 feet away. That ball was hammered up the middle. All 3 of those, well, the last 2 balls have been hit hard. That one almost got Max Fried on the leg. He somehow olayed that. Infield in now for Trey Turner. First pitch, 95 at the knees. Called for a strike. It's 0-1. Turner doesn't like it, but welcome to the club there, Turner. Blazers been doing this for about the last 3 or 4 innings. Must have dinner reservations. The 0-1. Swing, belted. High into left field. That's going to tie the game. Kelenic's got the ball, fires it into the infield, but nowhere near the plate. Man, he airmailed that one. It's 2-2. And lo and behold, the go-ahead run, Bryce Harper coming to the plate. And it was an impressive throw because he threw it so far, but he overthrew the plate by 15 feet. I don't know where Kelenic thought he was standing, but I guess he thought he was standing in the bullpen. First pitch to Harper, swung on, chops it over towards third. Urshela's got it. Man, a rainbow play there. Backhands it, fires it over to Olsen, and that'll end the inning. But not before the Phillies put 2 more on the board. We go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 2.
Say the weird thing.
Okay. Do you ever brush your hair and then you see a few pieces come out, or you're outside and you touch your head or your hair and a couple pieces come out? Do you ever think that maybe one of them will fly off into the wind and it'll land in a crime scene and then you'll be convicted you didn't commit? Because sometimes I think about that.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
When I was a boy, I played baseball, and I would go to baseball games as much as I could. One of the most important moments of the game was when the national anthem was played. Everyone stood up. I would go with my friends, we'd have on our baseball games, and take them off. It was at this moment that there was a certain sense that we were all American. And when I would play the game with my friends, we would be in the ballpark, we would follow the ritual that was at the stadium. And so we would have the national anthem, and we would sing the national anthem when we would play, playing in some playground somewhere, or some little grass field, and we would do the national anthem. And we put our hats over our hearts and everything. And I don't think there was anything in America that made me feel American except baseball. I felt connected with this country because of it.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Aaron Nola will start the sixth. He's at 90 pitches. Max Fried, by the way, finished that inning off at 78. Righty-lefty matchup to start it off. The first pitch. Swung on, foul back out of play. It's 0-1. You do wonder, and I'm here for it, you do wonder if when Arcia comes up, if Nola might throw him some cheese into the ribs and then really get some fireworks. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. I don't want to see one of our guys get injured, but I wouldn't mind seeing that to just put it all to bed once and for all. The 0-2 brings it in the dirt, 1-2. Arcia stands on deck is the reason why I'm bringing that up. The 1-2 count. Nola, 94th pitch of the night. Swing. That ball is laced into left field. Good piece of hitting by Jared Kelenic. He just poked it into left field, and there's one on, nobody out. And here comes that man. And he may not do it now, because do you really want to hit Arcia to put runners on first and second? But I can tell you this, an old school pitcher would send the message. Which is another reason why I had a problem with the way the Braves did not do anything. They're going to go out there and talk to Nola, but that is not the manager. That is Philadelphia's pitching coach, Caleb Cotham, excuse me. So it looks like they'll stay in. They do have the bullpen working as the Braves start getting loose in their bullpen. Yeah, the Phillies have not played well, but the Braves have not taken advantage of it. That's the gist of it. The only team in the division, Honest Engine, that has actually taken advantage of Phillies coming out of the break slow, very cold, is the Mets. Now, the Mets have cooled off a little bit. They've won 2 games now in that Baltimore series. They won the game tonight, two walk-off home runs against the Orioles, but now they go out west for 10. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss, knuckle curve, it's 0-1. Well, they go out west for, I believe, 7 and then 3 to the White Sox to end it. The 0-1. Righty, kicks and fires. Down below the knees, 1-1. Cotham may have been coming out there to talk to him, say, hey, man, don't do anything. I know you want to do something. We'll get them later in the series or something. 1 on, nobody out. The 1-1. Swing. Slices it down the line, fouling out of play, 1-2. What would be even better is if Arcia gets aboard, has to stand at first with Harper standing there, and just see if they even talk to each other. even look at each other. A walk or a single, something to have him standing at first. The 1-2, outside wide 2-2. I would tend to think this is probably his last batter. He's sitting at 98 pitches. The 2-2 count. Brings it. Swing, chops it over to third. That's going to be a double play. 5, 4, 3. No, they spit the bit and throw it into the dugout. It actually hits the railing. Oh, this is what we're looking for, Braves country. Orlando Arcia is going to be standing at first next to Bryce Harper. Let's see what kind of... See if there's any bad blood. He had to lay out. I thought for a second the way he stretched out, I thought Arcia might have stepped on his right hand when he dove out, but he didn't. Man, I guarantee you Pete Rose would have. He would have grinded that. Ty Cobb would have. First pitch on the way to Ramon Laureano is going to be shot through the infield for a base hit. And there's 1 on, 2 outs. If all that just transpired that we've been talking about for the last 15, 20 minutes between Harper and Arcia, he's laid out like that with his hand on the ground, you think Ty Cobb's not going to drive those spikes into his hands? Goes by. Yep, that's going to be it. So they're going to go ahead and get him out of the pen. When we come back, Gio Urshela is due up. Runners at first and second, 1 out.
Say the weird thing.
If you have a whole lot of junk to get rid of, it's cheaper to go buy a storage unit for $29.99 a month, pay for it for 1 month, and never do it again, rather than to go buy a $300 rollaway dumpster. Plus, you get a little extra side mission to where you can actually go to the auction and watch somebody buy your junk.
All right, I wanted to touch base about tomorrow. Sam, I know that you already arrived in D.C. I'll be there later on this evening. Brian, what is your status right now?
Yeah, so I just landed in Washington as well, so I should be all set for the...
Hey, why are you still at the airport? You should have been on the same flight as Sam, no?
Wait, yeah, I actually didn't see you, Sam. I mean, my flight was like 6 hours. It was long.
My flight was 1 hour. Yeah, Brian, you're in Washington, D.C., not Washington State, correct?
Wait, is there a difference?
There's an enormous difference, Brian. They're on opposite sides of the United States, different coasts.
Brian, did you read the travel folder handbook I gave you? Because it had your ticket and itinerary in there. You didn't have to buy your own flight.
Okay, well, I don't have enough room in my luggage for like 20 handbooks. I don't get like...
Wait, well, maybe a handbook would have been helpful because you ended up in the wrong damn city.
Okay, well, I feel like sometimes I work in like the tortured HR department. This is like...
Is that a Taylor Swift reference, Brian?
No, that'd be unprofessional. I don't think, like...
There's nothing unprofessional about Taylor Swift.
The same crew that demolished Ebbets Field now took down the Polo Grounds. Other old stadiums would fall fast, victims of decaying inner-city neighborhoods and urban renewal. Sportsman's Park in St. Louis, Forbes Field in Pittsburgh with its formal gardens, and Philadelphia's palatial Shibe Park, where Connie Mack had worked for 42 years. The era of John McGraw and Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner now seemed very far away.
Welcome back. Gio Urshela at the plate. First pitch on the way, swung on, foul back out of play. It's on 1. I know this is a big if, but let's say everybody gets healthy and we're in the playoffs. Imagine the versatility you will have if you could have Whit Merrifield as the 0-1, swung on, lifted down the line, fouling out of play 0-2. If he was coming off the bench to run for Arcia and then could stay in and play short in a situation like this. You got Arcia standing at second. We know he doesn't have the greatest of speed. The 0-2. Down and away, 1-2. The only thing, although Merrifield's played great defense at second, so I would think he's pretty good at short. I just never seen him play every day at short, but he has played short. The only thing that I don't know if they would do it in the 6th inning in a playoff game because of Arcia's glove, but it would be an option. The 1-2, swung on, grounded up the middle. That's going to be a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. Well, the Braves had a chance to take the lead, did not take advantage. The middle of the order's due up. Alec Boehm coming to the plate.
If you're making sandwiches, always leave the knife hanging over the sink in case you want one later. Be a man.
Yellow. Didn't I just ask you not to pick up? No, you said I should hang up and you'd call right back. Okay, what I meant was I wanted the machine to get it, not you. I'm trying to check my messages. You want me to just check them for you? No, thank you, no. Last time you did that, you erased all the messages and our outgoing messages and unplugged the lamp. Just let it ring, okay? That's your world. I just live in it.
Yellow.
Most people don't examine the meaning of the word exploitation. I think if you ask most people, they would say to be exploited is to have a low wage. Whereas the real meaning of it is to have a tremendous discrepancy between what your services are worth and what you are paid.
In 1946, the major league owners had established a minimum salary of $5,000 a year. In 1966, midst of a decade dedicated to change, it had risen only $2,000. 2 months before the 1966 season began, Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale demanded a raise from their owner, Walter O'Malley, insisting that he negotiate with them as a pair. Without their combined talents, they felt, the Dodgers were sure to end up in the cellar. They also insisted that the Dodgers deal with their agent, something new in baseball, not with them. An infuriated O'Malley refused. Baseball is an old-fashioned game with old-fashioned traditions, he said, and since the reserve clause barred their trying to play for anyone else, he resolved to wait them out.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. If Atlanta wins this one tonight, they would move within 5 of the NL East lead with the Phillies as the first pitch is a teardrop strike at the knees to Boehm. It's 0-1. The 0-1 swung on, chopped foul. It's 0-2. But bigger picture, they would remain 2.5 up on the Mets, which is the main one that we're paying attention to right now, and have a 4.5 game lead over the Giants. The 0-2 swing pops it up high and deep into right field, drifting back, making the catch at the warning track is Ramon Laureano. One away. Happened so fast last night, didn't really have a chance to react to it, but man, if y'all were with us last night, Laureano, man, he had himself a 9th inning defensively. That was about as impressive as I've seen, especially when you think of how many bad outfield gaffes he's had since he's been with Atlanta. But he had one that was hit hard to him that it was kind of hard to read, one almost exactly like the one to Castellanos earlier in the game that he caught. Then he had to make a sliding catch if you missed it, as the first pitch to Castellanos is check swing foul. It's 0-1. He makes a sliding catch on the foul line in right field. And then has to make another running catch to end the game. It was like outdoing himself each and every out. The 0-1's in the dirt, 1-1. Any of those drops, there's just no telling how the inning turns out. The 1-1 chops it foul, 1-2. And it's just, it's funny if you think about it, because we were screaming his name, we were screaming bloody murder on that West Coast trip when he came charging in from the center field and overran one of the an early single The 1-2. Inside. 2-2. Pierce Johnson appears to be warm in the pen, so any sign of trouble. Fried just 85 pitches. The 2-2. Fried kicks and fires. Swing, chops it over to short. Arcia's got it, fires it across the diamond. 6-3 put out, 2 away. Robert, you will see them more prevalent if Atlanta falls behind. That's what I've learned over the last 4 seasons doing this. Two down. Yeah, I haven't seen Star Wars in a while. Of course, isn't this time of year that Comic-Con's going on? He might be doing all that stuff. I don't know. First pitch on the way to Real Muto is hammered down the left field line. Plenty foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Curveball misses wide, 1-1. As far as Philly fans goes, Star Wars 99 was probably the most, what's the best word for it? I don't want to use the word classy with the Phillies fan, but the classiest that we've dealt with. The 1-2, swing and a miss. I can't remember the other guy's name, but there's another Philly fan that comes in here that's pretty cool too. But the ones that show up when they're up by 2 or 3 runs, those are the ones that you're just like, oh God, here we go again. The 1-2. I met one the other day. I think I've told the story, but I may not have. The 1-2 pitch. 95 inside, misses 2-2. And he lives down here in the South now. He's from Philly and was bragging about how he is teaching his son, who can't be more than 7, 8 years old, on how to be just an obnoxious ass. And I was like, what is wrong with you, man? He's like, no, man, that's the way you do it. I said, well, just tell him don't do it at a game down here. The 2-2, bam. That ball is smoked. And going back on the track, making the catch is Kid Kelnick. That wind definitely knocked that one down. Woo! We go to the bottom of the 7th. Big grin on Max Fried's face. Get up and stretch, Braves country.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. All right. 1, 2, 3. Me out to the ball game. Me out to the find me something up.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Braves in Phillies, we enter in the bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Strom is coming on, the left-hander, to face Harris. Lefty-lefty matchup started off. Of course, after that, he'll be facing 2 right-handers in Merrifield and Ozuna. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way. 93 at the knees. It's 0-1. Matt Strom brings it. 94. Popped it up. It'll go into foul territory, and Bo makes a sliding attempt but did not get over there in time. I think he was worried about slamming into the wall. I think if he makes that catch, he's probably on the IL, so he's making probably a pretty sound business decision on that one. 0-2 count. Harris 0 for 3. Brings it. Swing, lifts it high into center field, not quite deep enough. Drifting over, making the catch is Rojas, one away. That outfield is still just ripped all to hell. The Braves at home next few days. Over the weekend, I doubt they'll have time to manicure it and get it looking. As bad as they chop that up, I wonder if that's something as far as to get it to look good again, not just passable. As the first pitch on the way to Merrifield is right there at the strike at the knees. It's 0-1. You almost wonder if that's something they're going to have to take on in the offseason, because we don't have a lot of like long road trips left. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Lefty, righty. Kicks and fires. Outside wide, 1-2. Strom comes set, brings it inside. Ball 2, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Good eye envy on that one. I didn't see that one until after y'all said something. The 2-2, inside, ball 3, 3-2. Braves 2, Phillies 2. The payoff pitch, swing, chops it over to third. Bohm's got this one, flips it over to first. 2 down. That'll bring Marcell Ozuna to the plate. Ozuna's 1 for 3. He went yard last night. Ozuna's 3 for 7 with the home run, by the way, to Matt Strom. First pitch on the way is swung on and fouled back. It's 0-1. 349 batting average in the 7th inning or later is Marcell Ozuna this year. 12 home runs, 30 RBI. Wow. The 0-1. Down below the knees. 1-1. Marcell Ozuna singled to right. Earlier in the game, he's 1 for 3. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and sliced back foul and hit the screen behind home plate. 2 strikes. The 1-2. 95 misses wide, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Pitch on the way, swung on and hit back foul. That was a hanging slider. When you see that ball, I love the fact that they got the AI now because you can see what's going on. When you see that ball go back to the screen like that, he just missed timing that up. The 2-2. Probably won't see that pitch again. The pitch. Swing, belted down the left field line. Had plenty of heat, but couldn't keep it straight. So a 2-2 count. 2 down. Bottom of the 7th. Braves trying to take a 2-0 series lead. Jason. I forgot Jason's a huge Arcia fan. The 2-2. Outside wide ball 3-2. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, John. I mean, it's showing it just missing. The 3-2 pitch, swing, pops it back foul. Do it again. Ozuna's definitely back in a groove. No matter what happens in this at bat, you can just tell when he's in a groove because he's really hard to get him to mistime a pitch. He just may not get it on the right plane, if that makes sense. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good pitch. Brought it inside, and that'll end the inning. We head to the top of the 8th. The bottom of the order, due up for the Phillies.
This is the story of one of the greatest pitchers' duels in baseball history. The date, May 1st, 1920. The place, Braves Field on a chilly and muggy day. On the mound for the Robins was Leon Cador, who was coming off his best season, a season in which he won 14 games. The Boston Braves would counter with Joe Eschker, who was looking to bounce back from a subpar showing in 1919. It wasn't until the 5th inning when the first run would cross the plate, when Ivy Olson singled over the shortstop's head. Not even an inning later, the Braves would tie the game on an RBI single of their own. As the game progressed, the wind started to blow in from center field and was turning balls that would normally be hits into lazy fly ball outs. After 9 innings, the score remained tied at 1, and this continued on without another threat until the 17th inning when Brooklyn loaded the bases. Again, it was snuffed out with a double play. At this point, both starting pitchers were still on the mound. Once they reached the 23rd inning with both starting pitchers still on the mound, they broke the National League record for number of innings played in a game. 3 innings later, with a darkening sky, the game was called despite the protest of players saying they wanted to play the equivalent of 3 9-inning games. When this game ended, it entered the record books as the longest game in baseball history. Remarkably, this game only lasted 3 hours and 50 minutes. Both pitchers who started the game finished all 26 innings.
Finally, the pitchers were forced to negotiate for themselves, separately, and settled for considerably less than they had wanted. Without a union, even 2 of the game's greatest stars were forced to give in to management.
You think of people who changed the game of baseball. Well, aside from Babe Ruth, of course, the Bambino and his home runs, and Jackie Robinson entering, the third name has to be Marvin Miller, who led in organizing the Baseball Players Union and thus changed the game.
On March 5th, 1966, the largely ceremonial and ineffective Major League Baseball Players Association created the full-time post of executive director and appointed to it a veteran labor organizer, Marvin Miller.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. That was pretty funny exchange between Max Fried and JT Real Muto, who, I mean, it looked like I thought he'd gotten that one out. He said something to Max, and Max laughed. First pitch on the way to Jimenez who's the new pitcher here for the Braves, is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to Wilson. Righty smacks the side. It's 0-2. An 0-2 count. Bryson Stott is standing on deck. We kind of figured we were going to see him once Fried left the game. Stott wants no part of a Max Fried experience. Remember him having to play against him not too Was that last year before? It did not go well. The 0-2 lifted high, deep into right field. That's going to go off the wall. Ramon Laureano plays the carom, fires it into the infield. Man, that was close, but it looks like it's a leadoff double for Wes Wilson. This guy continues to hit. I mean, he's not very fast. They almost got him on the belt on the slide. Looking at the replay, yeah, he definitely beat the tag. It was a good throw by Laureano. It was much closer than it should have been. It's a great carom, accurate throw, and Wilson evidently does not run well for an outfielder. First pitch on the way from Jimenez is four-seam fastball outside wide. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Righty lefty. Stott at the plate, taking over for Sosa. Rojas stands on deck, and then it's the top of the order. The 1-0. Swing, pops it up. Will it stay in play? Murphy takes off his mask, but it looks like it's going to bend into the seats behind home plate. 1-1. Look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. Pitch on the way. Swing. That ball is hammered into center field. Going back, making the catch at the warning track is Harris. He'll flip it into the infield. No chance to get the runner as he was tagging up, and the momentum was taking Harris all the way back to the wall. So now the tying run, or go-ahead run, I should say, is standing at third with one out, and Captain Caveman Brandon Marsh is coming to the plate for Rojas. So he will most likely stay in the game. Figure out who they'll put out there in center, because I doubt they're going to put Marsh, but maybe they will. Infield in, first pitch. 95 inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Kyle Schwarber stands on deck, so you don't really have that option of pitching around him because that could get ugly. They do have Stevenson, who's listed as a center fielder on the bench. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. 1-1 count. In theory, you could have brought a left-hander in here to face March because he has faced the minimum. The 1-1 swung on down the line, out of play. Looked like that caromed off the rooftop. 1-2 count. Big spot here in the game with the tying run, or the go-ahead run at third, one out. The 1-2 from Jimenez. Brings it. Did he go around? Looked like he may have. He did not, said third base umpire Todd Titchener. That'll even up the count. Phillies have action in their bullpen as well. The 2-2. Murphy sets it up in the middle. Swing, lifted. That'll get the run home. Deep into left field, making the catch is Kelenic, and the Phillies lead it 3-2. This is a poor pitch choice by Smurf there. Don't know what he was thinking, but I guess maybe he was hoping he'd get underneath that and pop it up. But you got a 2-2 count on a left-hander with the right-hander there, and they throw a soft one up high. Maybe they were trying to get him to chase one in the dirt, but that ball was almost belt high. That thing almost left the stadium. First pitch to Schwarber is Misses for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Inside strike, 95 miles an hour, 1-1. Top of the 8th, Philly takes a 3-2 lead. Braves led this one 2-0. Brings it, swing and a miss, 1-2. Seems like every time Arcia runs his mouth, the Braves don't respond well. The 1-2. Kicks and fires. Chops it foul. We'll do it again. Three-2 your score. Jimenez working very slowly on the mound. The 1-2 pitch. Chops it foul down the line. We'll do it again. Jimenez at 16 pitches. I don't understand what the hospital Braves means, TB. You have to explain that one. The 1-2. Down and away, 2-2. Is that supposed to be like a mash unit type thing because of all the injuries? The 2-2. Top of the 8th. Jimenez brings it, chops it over towards short. Arcia's got it. That'll end the inning. 6-3 put out. But not before Jimenez coughs up a run. We got the middle of the order coming to the 8th inning. Braves trail by 1.
Redneck word of the day, inhale. Why in hell these gas prices so high?
Dad?
Yep.
I have a guy question. You know I've been dating my boyfriend for like 3 years, right?
Yep.
And I just feel like I can't get any further along with life with him.
Yeah.
We talk about marriage and he agrees. We talk about kids and he wants them too. We like the same things but nothing ever happens. All the stuff we talk about in our future never gets past talking. It's been 3 years and I can't get him to take the next step in anything.
Well, maybe he's not ready to get married.
Or maybe it's me.
Or maybe it's the two of you. Maybe he's just not the right guy.
Dad, do you know how hard it is to go through this? Not feeling like everyone is ever going to love me for me?
Yeah, it's probably about as hard as when a dad has to watch his little girl go through it. I know. Listen, there is a key for every lock. Now, are you telling me that he's got the key to the door to your future and he just won't open the door and go? Or maybe he's the wrong guy and doesn't even have the key. Did you ever consider that?
I don't know, Dad. I'm not sure of anything.
Be sure that I love you and carry on, okay?
I grew up in Brooklyn, not very far from Ebbets Field, and I was a fan of the Brooklyn Dodgers from the earliest days I can remember. That ended first when I left Brooklyn, and second when shortly thereafter the Dodgers left Brooklyn.
Marvin Miller had spent most of his life in the labor movement, the International Association of Machinists, the United Automobile Workers, and for 16 years, the United Steelworkers.
Marvin Miller was probably the greatest thing that ever happened to baseball as far as the players are concerned. The moment that we found out that the owners didn't want Marvin Miller, he was our guy.
Tough, seasoned, and relentless, Miller rallied the players to the organization, then demanded that the club owners bargain collectively, provide improved pensions, raise minimum salaries.
When Marvin started, the owners obviously weren't prepared to fall in love with him, and as a matter of fact, the more they saw of Marvin, the less prepared to fall in love with him they were. He obviously did a great job for the players as far as getting them salaries. I'm not sure on balance that he was good for baseball.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves got the 2-run home run by Arcia, but other than that, they really squandered a lot of scoring opportunities. First pitch on the way from Kerkering is off the plate, called for a wide strike. Another bad call by Corey Blazier. It's 0-1. The 0-1 misses, 1-1. The 1-1 count. Righty-lefty Olsen takes the 1-1 pitch, sweeper misses out high, 2-1. The 2-1, Kerkering, who pitched last night, Gets another wide strike. Another poor call by Corey Bloser. So a 2-2 pitch. Braves trail by 1. Bottom of the 8th. Infield back into the left. Swung on and lifted. Foul down the left field line, 2-2. I think one thing we would like to see just fixed from this team is the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One away. At least it looks like they're starting to swing the bats with 2 strikes. You can live with baseball. You can live with guys not scoring. It's the hardest sport to play on the planet. They've talked about that a million times. But when you see the guys just not swing the bat with 2 strikes, which we've seen a lot of this year, that's the stuff that really gets to you. First pitch on the way. Down below the knees for a ball to Sean Murphy. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Out of town scoreboard looks like this. The Reds lead the Blue Jays 10-6. 1-0. Inside cut, 1-1. Milwaukee, St. Louis, 2-2 in the 6th. The 1-1. Low strike called. Looked like it hit the zone sinker, 1-2. Tigers lead the Cubs 4-2. That game is in the 6th, I believe. The 1-2 swung on and dribbled over to short. Gets to be an easy 6-3 put out. Terrible throw by Turner, but Harper was able to jump to make the catch. Step on the bag, 2 down. Murph had any kind of speed, it would have been close. Hell, if he had any kind of speed, he's safe. Washington 6-1 over Colorado right now. Looks like that's the final. Minnesota pounding is the first pitch on the way to Kelenic. Is hit into center field. Lazy fly ball, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 9th. Braves trail by 1.
Say the weird thing.
I don't understand what baking soda really is. Because in the context of making baked goods rise, that makes sense, baking soda. But you're telling me this magical dust is also mouthwash, deodorant, teeth whitener, fridge odor neutralizer, air freshener, apparently it's a whitening agent for my laundry, kitchen cleaner, carpet stain remover, pesticide remover for fruits and veggies, silverware polisher, scorched pot cleaner, oil and grease fire extinguisher, homemade weed killer. It can help treat heartburn and may soothe canker sores. It may improve exercise performance, and it may relieve itchy skin and sunburns, and may slow the progression of chronic kidney disease. What is this stuff?
If you had to make an educated guess, how much money do you think Generation X owes Columbia House? Is it more than like the national debt? 12 CDs for a penny. Be these little cards you could fill out, and they would send them to you in the mail, only on the good faith that you're gonna buy another CD from them the next month. When they really wanted to put the heat on us to pay for it, they'd send us these little collection card notices, fill out another card under a fake name, get 12 more CDs. Probably like Napster and LimeWire and all that came out, and the artists were like, no, you can't give away our music for free. We've been getting your music for free the whole time.
Ball players are no match for him. He has a steel-trap mind wrapped in a butter-melting voice. He runs the players through a high-pressure spray the way an auto goes through a car wash, and that's how they come out, brainwashed. Dick Young, New York Daily News.
Sports writers following the developing conflict were, for the most part, uninterested in the complicated labor issues, making them active agents against Miller and the union. For years, the public and even some players distrusted him. The battle over who would control the game had begun. The showdown ahead would be over the century-old reserve clause, which bound each player to his club for life.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Luke Jackson. So get ready for that. It's coming onto the mound. 5.7 ERA. Luke Jackson, or some people may have. So I've heard some people change the L with the P, but I'm not going to do that to Luke. First pitch on the way. Fastball, 95 on the outer edge. It's 0-1. When he hits his pitch, and he there's always like a glimpse. You're like, man, this dude is bad. He is a badass. And then he just unfurls. The 0-1 swung on back foul. Got a piece of Murphy. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Braves trail by 1, top of the 9th. The heart of the order do it for the Phillies: Turner, Harper, and Bohm. And Luke Jackson gets an automatic ball called on him because he said he didn't lock in time. That's the goofiest rule that they have ever implemented. What does it matter if he is engaged looking at the pitcher as long as he throws the ball in time? Luke Jackson is now going to blame his equipment, and he's messing around with the I like to call it the wish list, the PitchCom device that we don't get as bad as they were, but when they first came out with these things, my God, they really, it felt like there was one an inning that didn't work. It was like every time the guys got sweaty or something and touched it, it zapped out. Jackson gets back on the mound, and now he says it doesn't work again, so here we go again. So while he does that, gets a new PitchCom device, they'll run one out to him. It's about that time to turn back time. On this date, 1902, the National League throws right-handed pitcher Joe McGinty, as he's known, Iron Man McGinty of the Baltimore Orioles, out of the AL after punching and spitting an umpire. Due to his popularity, Iron Man Mike will quickly be reinstated. That was in 1902. So if they tell you that back in the good old days they didn't misbehave, that is a lie, as Maury would say. The 1-2, curveball down and in, 2-2. Turn back time shows that is a lie. So a 2-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 9th. Jackson brings it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball gets away, and Turner can fly, and he ain't going to get him. So bad job of blocking the ball by Murphy. Was a difficult one to block, but I've seen more balls get away from this catching battery. And honestly, that one, I can't even blame Murphy on that one. That one, he did just about everything right. So many times you're seeing him get away because they just try to backhand the ball. But that time he actually got in front of it. He slid in front of it. It just kicked off his chest. So it'll go down as a strikeout and a wild pitch. And Bryce Harper stands in. First pitch, swung on, swats it back, foul. It's 0-1. It would be on brand for him to blast a 2-run shot and then just shove it down Arcia's throat after he did the goofy thing he did. Philly 3, Braves 2. The 0-1, blasted. High in the sky, deep into right field. Looks like Loriano's going to have room. He'll make the catch. Long throw to second, and Turner did not tag up. I'm a little surprised by that. He just got underneath it. He almost tattooed that one in towards the chop house, but it became pretty evident pretty quickly that Loriano was going to have room. And with the speed of Turner, I am really surprised that he did not go from first to second, but good play by Loriano, one away. That might help us after it's all said and done. First pitch on the way, swung on. It's going to be a 5-4-3 double play, and not going to second got us out of that inning. How about that? Another good defensive play by Gio Urshela. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth, needing a run to tie.
You know, poop jokes aren't my favorite, but they're a solid number 2.
As the young kids say, it do be bussin' respectfully.
Don't ever say that again.
Yeah, it's best that I don't.
That was bad.
It was wasn't it?
Total.
And here's Dale Murphy. At 439 with 6 homers, 18 RBIs already, and in a spot where he has a chance to get some more. Ramirez at second, Perry at first. Downstairs to Murph, 1 ball, no strikes. There is a drive. Did he get enough of it? Back goes McReynolds. He looks up and he kisses it goodbye. A 3-run homer for Murphy. Touch of all, Murph. That's 7 and 21 RBIs, and it's 3-0. That's the way Babe Ruth hit him, a mile high.
If smoking is so bad, then why does it cure salmon?
Hey, this is my final message to y'all, because you probably ain't gonna see me again. My old lady texted me a minute ago and asked me if I thought her forehead was big, and I said that I probably wouldn't ever kiss the same spot twice. And she said, I'll see you when you get home.
The outfield around to the left to Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter. Long drive to left field, way back, kiss it goodbye, home run.
On December 9th, 1965, the day Branch Rickey died, the Cincinnati Reds let outfielder Frank Robinson go. He had played magnificently for them since 1956, when he hit 38 home runs to tie the rookie record. He charged into outfield walls to make spectacular catches, hurled himself into opposing infielders to break up double plays, and in 1961 won the National League's Most Valuable Player award. In casting him off, the Cincinnati owner explained that Robinson was too old at 30.
Welcome back. Well, if he wants to step up, here we go. Orlando Arcia coming to the plate. Remember, they have not used Jorge Soler, and you would think, unless there's some kind of setback, you would think he would be available to pinch hit off the bench. Now, it would have to be someone that they could, maybe with Laureano. Carlos Estevez, first pitch on the way, slider on the outer edge, first strike, it's 0-1. Estevez came over from the Angels at the trade deadline. Now the Philadelphia closer. The 0-1. Down and in, 1-1. 1-1 count. You could also pinch hit Urshela for Soler. The 1-1 outside, 2-1. If you did that, Luke Williams would be able to come on and play defense if it went to extras. The 2-1 pitch in the dirt, ball 3, 3-1. If he gets on, you may see Luke Williams, though, run for Arcia. Soler is standing on deck, so there's your answer. The 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss, chase that one a little bit out of the zone, 3-2. So a full count. He's probably going to get that slider again. That's his wipeout pitch. That's the one he likes to strike you out with. Set you up with the high heat. And I'm sure Orlando's going back and forth in his head about which one is he going to go for. Is he going to bring the heat or try to do the bender? You almost have to sit on the heat, but the 3-2, high and out of the zone, we'll never know. That was nowhere near the zone, and Orlando Arcia will make it down to first. Luke Williams will pinch run for Arcia, as we suspected. Soler's going to come on for Laureano. That will leave Duvall to play defense. He can go to right. Williams can stay in to play short. That's about it as far as you could pinch hit Darnold at some point, but they normally don't like to do that because you like to have the extra. Plus, we don't even know what Darnold's health is. We haven't seen him hiding our hair of him. Most I've seen of Darnold since that Saturday night when he got hit is his doppelganger that's evidently the hitting coach for the Royals. First pitch on the way to Soler, swung on, pops it up. High in the sky, can of corn. Out number 1. Easy out. Well, when you haven't hit, you only had 2 at-bats in the last week, you can't expect the moon and stars. 1 on, 1 out. At some point, you would think you would, with Gio Urshela, Michael Harris on deck, you could play the game of bunt the runner over and hope Harris can knock him in. Gio Urshela did get a single in the 4th, and there is an open side on the right field, on the right side of the infield. The first pitch on the way. Swung on. That ball's going to be a worm burn through the hole. We've got runners on first and second, 1 out. Top of the order coming back up to the plate. So how about that? Reached one on the outside, but he hit it on the screws. Got it in the 5-6 hole. So now the tying run with speed is at second. Gio Urshela runs pretty well himself. Not quite Luke Williams speed, but he's got decent wheels. First pitch, outside wide, it's 1-0. Standing on deck is merry-go-round. In the hole is the Big Zoo. Braves trail by 1. Bottom of the 9th. First pitch. The 1-0 pitch misses high, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Righty lefty brings it. 3-0. Three-0 count, runners on first and second. Estevez brings it. Oh, that ball missed the zone. He called it a strike. It's showing on your screen it hit the top of the zone. It did not. It missed about 2 inches above the plate, above the box. Even the StatCast is showing it a little lower, but it still didn't hit the zone. The 3-1. Steps off the mound. That'll be a move. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Full count. The full count. First and second, 1 out. Braves 2, Phillies 3. Now Estevez is claiming he doesn't have the pitch comm. Braves and Phillies must have got the same batch from Temu this week. They must have all just pitched in together and had it come to the doorstep. Home plate umpire Corey Blazer is now calling for one of the Philly ball boys to bring out the new equipment. And this is taking quite a while. Normally they just hand them off. While they do that, we'll turn back time. On this date, 1935, at Braves Field in Boston, Cardinals first baseman Roger Collins does not make a putout during the team's 13-3 9-inning loss to the Boston Braves. St. Louis infielder will also not make a putout playing first for the Cubs in a game in Brooklyn in 1937. The rare feat, the only person in Major League Baseball to have that happen twice in their career. That was in 1935 on this date. That is pretty amazing, especially when you consider back then, man, all the ground balls back then. We're back to the action. You got a full count, 2 on, 1 out. They set up across the plate, the pitch. Swing, chops it over towards third. It's going to be a tough play by Bohm. He's got it, fires it over to first. Harris is out by a step. 2 down. Williams and Urshela do move up 90 feet apiece, so a single would win the game. I'll tell you what, Michael Harris, for a center fielder, he's not that fast on the base pass from home to first. I'm going to have to look those stats up, but I was noticing it earlier. These are balls that a lot of guys, a lot of center fielders would have beat that out. And he was hustling. First pitch on the way to Merrifield is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. You almost wonder if it's almost like a runner, like, he's slow out of the box. The 0-1. Swing, that ball's hit over towards first, off the glove of Harper, and he's going to step on the bag. That'll end the game. Man, that was close. He almost fumbled the ball away, but Harper stepped on the bag, and the Phillies win 3-2. Good game by both. Once again, at some point, Arcia is going to learn how to keep his mouth shut. I'm still going to hang this one on him. I'm sorry, man, but when you are going to run your mouth, you got to back it up. Braves lose a tough one. In the end, it was just a good pitcher's duel that Atlanta lost. They'll fall back to 7 behind the Phillies. We're back at it tomorrow night. Schwellenbach versus Christopher Sanchez, who is a left-handed pitcher. The reason why I bring that up is, where will Merrifield be in the lineup? Will he possibly be leading off because of the left-hander? And because they keep saying there's a possibility, will Jorge Soler make his first appearance in left field, or are they going to wait till Friday? You'd like to see it, but at the same token, if he's not healthy, you can't put him out there. Schwellenbach Day, one of my favorite days of the week, is tomorrow. Schwellenbach and the Braves will try to win the rubber match. Tough loss there. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Phillies. 2 runs, 9 hits for the Braves. The other big thing is we just did not come through with runners in scoring position. That has been a thing all year, and it continues tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully, we should get more hits and more runs tomorrow night against Sanchez. He's good, but he's not Aaron Nola or Zach Wheeler good. We'll see you tomorrow night, Braves Country.